right, guys, welcome. Just give us 2 seconds. We have to leave the office building. But tonight we're going to be talking about Home Depot. Home Depot and Walmart both reported their quarterly earnings reports today. So we will talk about that in just a minute. What's up, Matt? Just give us just a minute, guys. We're almost out of the office. So this is the Southeast Financial Building. Ooh, all right. Very humid out. But here we are, everybody. Right outside of the Southeast Financial Building here in Miami. You know, it was a very busy day on Wall Street. We had two very notable earnings reports. Number one, Home Depot. Number two, Walmart. One of them was a pretty good report. The other one, not so much. We'll talk about that today. But first, let me show you guys one of my favorite buildings here in downtown Miami, the Southeast Financial Center. And I'm actually lucky enough to work out of this building now, which is fantastic. One of my favorite buildings in downtown Miami. But last but not least, everybody, let's see who we have in the chat. We have the one and only Mr. Ming. Welcome. Kana Am says greetings, Miami lovers. Good to see you, my friend. Hope you're having a good Tuesday. Mohammed says good morning, Tom from Malaysia. Good to see you, Mohammed. Sunshine After Rain says hey, Tom. Good to see you. Corey. Sunshine After Rain. Penelope. Nick Rock says happy Tuesday, one and all. Dutchman is here. Says hey, Tom. Greetings. Welcome, Dutchman. Good to see you. Riva says hey, Tom and everybody. Lena Sandoval. Sandra Nunez is here. Welcome. Lena Sandoval, Gigi NYC says good evening, everybody. Hope you had a productive Tuesday. I did. I had a productive Tuesday. Busy day. Really, really busy day. You know, I think there's actually a Miami Heat game or a big basketball playoff game going on. So we're going to walk towards the FTX Arena. We will probably see it tonight. But Hal T16 is here. Welcome. Good to see you. Astro says I kickflipped the like button. Awesome. Thank you. I appreciate that. And Thomas is here, says, hey, Tom, good to see you. Well, it's good to see you too, Thomas. Everybody, two things to cover tonight. Walmart's reported earnings actually reported a horrible quarter, believe it or not. The CEO and a lot of or let's just say the CEO and the chief financial officer essentially said that supply chain disruptions and a couple other things were to blame for the earnings report. But here's something that's really notable from that report that I thought was pretty interesting. They said that merchandise arrived very, very late to the stores, obviously due to the supply chain disruptions, but other items virtually didn't sell at all, such as you could think about barbecue grills, plants, pool chemicals for people who have pools and in-ground pools and things like that. Those sales got crushed. And here's what they attributed it to. And this is really interesting. I'd like to talk about it. They said they didn't sell the barbecue grills and all the outdoor stuff, the plants. They didn't sell it because this year, as well as last year, there was unreasonably cooler temperatures, specifically in the Northeast. Now, it's so crazy that they said that because we were talking about this on a couple streams ago when we were in New York, and I said, look, guys, it's Mother's Day. And it's 40 degrees, 35 degrees, and raining. And it's freezing. And I've noticed this. So here's what I've noticed. I really truly believe that the seasons are changing, at least in the Northeast, and I'll tell you why. I've noticed that, at least as of late, we are having warmer weather later into the year, but also cooler weather earlier in the year. So what I mean by that is, and maybe this is just me, you guys please chime in and say, hey Tom, you're totally off base here, but from what I've noticed, this is what I've noticed. The past 2 or 3 Christmases and Thanksgivings in New York have been unreasonably warm. Like, I remember walking around on Christmas, degree weather in New York. So I think that the seasons are changing, but we're keeping the warmer weather later into the year, and it's a lot cooler like in May and in April and in May. I mean, April was freezing in New York City. Mother's Day weekend, I was there in New York. I filmed a lot of standalone videos in the rain. It was almost hailing at one point. So it's interesting that actually that came up on Walmart's earnings report, and they said sales literally fell off a cliff in relation to pool chemicals, pool supplies, plants for the outdoor patio. In addition to barbecue grills, they said literally fell off a cliff due to unseasonably cooler temperatures. So what do you guys think about that? I guess we'll start off with that. Have you guys noticed that? What have you noticed in your neck of the woods? And am I off base here? Because I've been noticing the same thing. Hey, Ben is here. What's up, Ben? Ben Cunningham says, yes, it's a seasonal shift. Good to see you, Ben. So this is Southeast 2nd Street in Miami near the Whole Foods. Penelope says, yes, Tom, it's cyclical, but the changes were very different from when I was a child in the 70s. Thank you for that, Penelope. Ben says, our local meteorologists have been talking about it. Interesting. I mean, I've noticed it, but obviously that's anecdotal data from me. Ryan Royal is here, says hello again, Tom and everybody. Good to see you, Ryan. T. Campbell says, Tom, in Pittsburgh, it's like that as well. I feel like the seasons have shifted by a month. I think what you just said summed it up perfectly. I think our seasons are just pushed back a month, because it's actually, September, October could be pretty warm in New York City. You could have 60-degree weather, even 70-degree weather well into September and October for sure. Hey, Noel Rodriguez, welcome, my friend. Wow, Noel says, hey Tom, coming from the Big Apple, New York City in the 70s, September was the start of winter. Yeah, I mean, it could be 70 degrees in the winter there. Sunshine After Rain says, I've noticed a change from the 80s. Mary Jane is here, says, this is climate change in action. Well, it's starting to show up in financial statements now. And I've been noticing it myself. But what was interesting is Home Depot crushed earnings. They reported earnings today. Earnings per share, or EPS, blew it out of the water. They reported $4.09 of EPS. The majority of analysts on Wall Street were actually expecting $3.68. So they beat on the bottom line. But the top line, in terms of the revenue growth, they crushed it as well, coming in at $38.91 billion. Analysts on Wall Street were expecting only $36.72 billion. So that report was really strong, and Walmart's report was really weak. Which, if I had to guess at the beginning, before they even reported, I would have guessed the absolute opposite, which is very, very strange, extremely strange. But from Home Depot's earnings report, the CEO said, we are seeing extreme demand, even increased demand over last year, from people remodeling their homes. And one of the things he said that was so telling, and it was funny because we were talking about this on the stream yesterday, we said, the CEO said, as interest rates are going up, People are choosing to stay in their homes because they currently have a mortgage with a low interest rate. Because if we think about it like this, mortgage rates right now are about at 5.25, maybe a little bit higher, for the first time since 2011. So what does that mean? That means everybody who bought a home between 2011 and now probably has less than a 5% interest rate. I mean, generally speaking, we could just say generally speaking. So the CEO of Home Depot, essentially what he said, he's like, all of these people are not looking to sell their homes, because if they sold their homes now, they would have to go back into the marketplace and deal with higher interest rates. So instead, what they're doing is they're using their spare money that they would have used to purchase a new home to just remodel their existing home. So they're seeing a massive amount of demand, not only from consumers, but institutional players within this space. So that could be publicly traded contractors or big construction companies that are spending a lot of money at Home Depot, mainly on kitchen and bath equipment. So I thought that was pretty interesting. And I guess it makes sense. And that is what the CEO of Home Depot said drove record sales in the quarter. This quarter, Q1, was the most profitable quarter in Home Depot's history for a first quarter report. Really, really blew it out of the water, knocked it out of the park. Michelle K is here, says, hey Tom. John says, I shop at Target now. Good to see you, John. Hope you're well. Target reports as well, ticker symbol TGT. Sunshine After Rain is here. British Gray is from Tampa, Florida. Good to see you, British Gray. Hope you're doing well. Jeff says, good evening, Tom, from Altoona, Pennsylvania. Supposed to get down in the 30s here tonight. Yeah, so exactly what we were talking about. So Jeff is like, I'm from Pennsylvania, and it's going to be in the 30s, and it's almost midway through May. Pretty insane. Yogi says, there's a great tip, John. Find an empty cardboard box and use that as your shopping bags. Very cool. Noel Rodriguez says, today they are charging $10 2x4 lumber. Last year was $3 to $4. Yeah, commodities prices are definitely on a tear. Otik John says, hello everybody. Hello to you. Reba says, I buy my groceries at Target. The food costs less. You know, every single Target that I've been in, well, this light is going to take a long time, so I guess we'll go over here first. Every single Target I've been in recently is packed. Absolutely packed. Hey, Bit of Wander is joining us. Says, hey, what's up, friends? Good to see a Bit of Wander. Jamie Massetti is here. Says, interest rate hikes can't come soon enough for savers. Well, I think looking on the bright side, I think you're correct. I think you are correct there. Miami Walking and Driving Tours says, hey Tom, even Miami looks better through your camera. Thank you so much. So everybody, we do not have the microphone tonight, so let me know if you hear any wind noise. Well, let me rephrase that. We don't have the microphone attached to the camera, so I may pull over to the side and attach the microphone to the camera if the wind gets a little bit too obnoxious for us. Vinny Castellano, the one and only, says, hey Tom, good evening from the one and only Staten Island. Good to see you, Vinny Castellano. We're talking about Walmart reported earnings today. Fell on their face a little bit, but Home Depot was a bright spot, reporting their best Q1 in company history. Best Q1 in company history. Humane is here. Good to see you, Humane. Hope you're well. D. Woods says, Tom, you are a neoliberal. No boundaries for businesses. Good to see you, D. Wood. Paulina is here. Welcome. Sunshine After Rain says, I shop at Sam's Club. So Sam's Club is very similar to like a BJ's. Is that correct? Savi is here. Says, hello, everybody. Hope you're well. Thank you, Savi. So for those of you who are just joining, we actually started off the stream inside the Miami Southeast Financial Center. Beautiful building, by the way. The lobby is one of my favorite lobbies in the city because it has a pretty cool saltwater aquarium in there. Maybe I'll post some pictures tomorrow. Ben Cunningham says, Tom, my dad is a regional manager for Home Depot in Western Pennsylvania, and all his stores are well over projected earnings. Makes for a nice bonus. Hey, dude, that's awesome, man. Rock on with that. Rock solid. Love to hear that. Yeah, so Ben, maybe you could provide some insight on this, because the biggest takeaway for me from that Home Depot's earnings report, not only did they beat on revenue, so they beat on the top line, but they also beat on the bottom line too. But the number one thing that the CEO said that really helped with sales was massive record demand for people remodeling their homes. And essentially the reason for that is because anybody who bought a house between 2011, so just a couple months ago, probably has a lower interest rate than 5%. So if you were going to sell your house now, if you're going to move somewhere else and buy another house, well, the cost of money just went up a lot. You're probably going to have to go into the market with a 5% interest rate. So people are just keeping their sub 3% interest rates and using that excess cash to remodel their homes. So Home Depot said not only was there strong consumer demand for remodeling, but also you could say the large institutional players as well. And that could be from anybody from, the single family home buyers or the single family home developers, big construction companies and remodeling agencies. So it seems like everybody's, staying put. And, sort of that makes sense, right? Usually a lot of the times on an earnings report, when it comes out better than expected, the C-suite has to say something. And sometimes a lot of it is just blowing smoke. But I guess I could see where they're coming from, because if you think about it, what the CEO of Home Depot is saying actually matches up with the data that is presented out in the field. So what do I mean by that? What I mean by that is we have record low inventory in the United States in relation to single family homes. So if the CEO of Home Depot is saying, look, a lot of our clients are opting to not sell their homes, but to keep their mortgages with extremely low interest rates and just to use all of their cash instead of moving and buying another home, they're just going to remodel their existing one. And I think that makes sense, because if he wasn't telling the truth, a lot of the data that we would be seeing in the housing market would be the complete opposite, which would be an excess or a surplus of supply. But we're actually really, really low on supply, especially for single family homes in the United States. But everybody, this is the Aston Martin building. This is the back patio to the building. And I'll show you guys all the way up. It is almost complete. It should be complete later this year. Wow. Hey, Dino says, I've arrived. Hitting the like button. Hello from Brazil. Welcome to all of our Brazilian viewers. Leonardo is here. Says, hey, Tom. Hey, Leonardo. Good to see you. Yogi says, no housing crash anytime soon. It's going to stabilize. Matthew, good to see you. Let me see. I know, a bit of wander. Wasn't that a nice jet that flew over there? Let me see if I could catch up on some of these comments, my friends. Give me 1 second. I see Wendy England here. Welcome. Don Smith says, 3 people called me in the last 2 days to buy my house, and it's not for sale yet. Don Smith. Crazy you mentioned that. If you don't mind us asking, what market are you in? Obviously, you don't have to answer that for privacy reasons if you're not comfortable sharing that. But when I bought my property here in Southern Florida, probably it's about 5 people now that have knocked on my door asking me to rent the property to them. Because, you know, we always talk about supply of homes for sale, but very seldom do we talk about the rental market. And the rental market is almost worse here in Southern Florida in terms of availability. It's extremely hard to find a place to rent here. And if you do find a place to rent, it's probably going to be really, really egregious prices. So we have some data coming out of Miami-Dade just the other day that says the median rent now in Miami is $4,300 a month. $4,300 a month is now the median rental price in Miami, which is crazy. Noel Rodriguez says, Tom, my cousin tried buying property in Miami and he has been told this is a really bad time to buy. Yeah, well, I mean, traditionally this is a seller's market, right? Usually when the prices are going gangbusters, that means sellers have the majority of the negotiating power in the deal. So if there's so much demand and you have 3, 4, 5, up to 20 people bidding on one home, well, who has the majority of the bargaining power in that deal? It's going to be the seller, right? And I think that's why nowadays you're seeing many, many people get into these relentless, almost quite psychotic bidding wars for homes. Some of them are going hundreds of thousands of dollars over the asking price. So I think you're right. I think this is obviously more of a seller's market than it is a buyer's market. But look, I think in every market, regardless of the market conditions, if the deal works for you and your budget and your income, and if the property is going to cash flow, depending on if you're going to use it as a rental property, then you should do the deal. I think where a lot of people make the mistake is they look at what their friends are doing, they look at what their family's doing, and then they feel like they need to keep up with the Joneses. So they're like, oh, I just need to get into a house now. And that's when they make those big mistakes, in my view. Mike C is here, says hoping for a bidding war, that would be awesome. Yeah, I mean, if you're selling your house, I would agree. Penelope says, Tom, I get those offers all the time, and I own my house, no mortgage. Wow. So Penelope, you're saying people actually come up to your door and ask if you're selling. Well, Tennessee is a very hot market. I know that you're in the Tennessee, so Tennessee has become a very fashionable place to live. Hey, Yaved says, good evening, Dutchman is here, welcome. Yeah, Dutchman says 4,300. Wow, it's insane. The prices are getting really, really crazy. Tone Rick says, good evening, Tom and chat. Good evening to you too, Tone. Good to see you. Mike C says, we're listing our house in Seattle suburbs next week. Crossing our fingers. Ah, Mike, very cool. Well, best of luck to you, Mike. You know, Seattle, even though a lot of people rag on Seattle about the weather, always have extreme demand there because there's a lot of good job opportunities in Seattle, especially if you want to work into tech or get into the technology field. A lot of good jobs, a lot of high-paying jobs coming out of Seattle as well. Yogi says, please show that white Lamborghini Urus. 69% depreciation value. Well, it's right here. I tend to see a lot of these in Miami for whatever reason. I think the reason why there's more sports cars in Miami, obviously probably because of the climate. Very seldom do we see very nice cars in New York City, obviously because of the snow and the rain and all that. Hey, Bob says, Miami was affordable in the 1990s. I used to sell three bedroom, 2-bathroom houses for about $100,000. Whoa, that's insane. Bob, now $100,000 now won't even get you a studio apartment. You know, Bob, I think we were talking about this yesterday, to your point. And I believe if you want to buy a studio apartment down here where we are in downtown Miami, it's probably going to cost you at a minimum $350,000 to $400,000. Now, you're probably telling yourself, you're like, whoa, Tom is talking crazy. And yeah, that is crazy talk because, you know, even coming from New York, if you're thinking about buying a studio apartment in Manhattan, pretty much anywhere on the island of Manhattan, even if you go way up to the Heights, Washington Heights and things like that, you're probably going to be having to spend $350,000 to $450,000 for a studio and up. I mean, especially if it's in Midtown Manhattan or something like that, or the financial district, then they could probably go all the way up to $750,000. Yeah, Bit of Wander's like so glad to live in Kentucky. Well, I mean, you never know, Bit of Wander, because if you think about it, with all of this remote working stuff on the rise, and it seems like that trend is going to stay in place. You know, we've actually just got some data out of Apple. So essentially, Tim Cook and all of his companions. Oh my God, guys, check this out. It's skates. What's up, pal? Beautiful cat, by the way. Look at those eyes. Fantastic. Guys, give this video a thumbs up if you like this cat. I think the color is fantastic. Beautiful eyes. Hey. Hey. What's up, pal? You know, this almost looks like skates. I wish I had food to give you, my friend, or I'd give it to you, but I'll give you a little pat on the... Hello. Hello. Oh. Ah, there we go. I think he wants a thumbs up in the chat. We're gonna call him Skates. Good to see you, Skates. Beautiful looking guy, by the way. All right, bye. Sorry everybody, we had to take a quick pit stop to check out the cat. Adorable cat, by the way. But anyway, so as I was saying, Apple just came out and is actually walking back what they said. So essentially, they wanted all of their employees to return to the office. Let me rephrase that, all of their corporate employees to return to the office 3 days a week. There was an overwhelming amount of Apple employees that were writing to their bosses demanding them not to change that policy of remote work, that they're actually walking it back and delaying the process. So if you think about it like this, if I'm a software engineer at Apple, I'm making mid-six figures, you know, why would I want to live in a big city? I could go out maybe to rural Kentucky and buy a really, really big backyard to walk around in. So you never know. I mean, maybe we could see this big shift of people moving out of cities to more suburbia, because if you don't need to go into the office to make these big salaries, you know, what's the point of paying premium prices to live in a major city? Now, you never know. All right, let's cross the street. Yeah, Noodles X says, I love working from home. Eyeglass Lady says, I'm a cat person. Tom, cats are clean animals. Among the other positives. Yeah, so Eyeglass Lady, I have a ton of cats around my house. A lot of stray cats in Miami. Yeah, Ryan Royal says they got big pushback saying they wanted to keep working from home. You're right. Theresa Roberts says you have a magic touch with animals. Well, I think the cat was excited to be on the stream, you know? Not everybody gets to be on the stream, so it's a big, big moment for the cat. Just kidding around. The one that got away. This is just a friended stray Pat Matters. Agreed. Lewis is here, says, hey Tom and everybody, we are back. Good to see you, Lewis. So Lewis, I was talking to you earlier today when we were chatting on the standalone video. If you guys want to check that out, we did a standalone video walking in the rain in New York City. So feel free to go on the channel and check that out. But the topic for tonight's stream, everybody, we had Home Depot reporting earnings, crushed it, blew it out of the water, a record profitable quarter, the best Q1 in company history for Home Depot. Unfortunately, Walmart fell on its face due to supply chain constraints, disruptions, and get this, below normal temperatures in the Northeast, but not only in the Northeast, across the United States. So Walmart said not only were they late in bringing in necessary items like barbecue grills, pool cleaners like chlorine and things like that, patio furniture, but when those items got in, virtually none of them sold. And one of the things that the chief financial officer at Walmart said, he said the reason why these things didn't sell is because we've had an unreasonably cooler climate during this time of year in comparison to the last 5 years. And I actually agree with him. I mean, Mother's Day in New York City was absolutely freezing. It was raining. And we just talked about at the beginning of the stream that I personally believe are moving about a month or two forward. So for example, in New York City, you can get 70-degree weather in September and October now. And I even remember a couple years ago, this was probably 2017, 2016, where it was actually 70 degrees on Christmas. So that hit Walmart's bottom line big time. But if we think about all of that sort of rotation in the climate not being good, well, now that the weather's getting better now, later into May, are those sales going to pick up now and reflect in Q2? I don't know, maybe. So there's probably, usually what it's called on the street is a pull forward when the demand starts to happen a little bit before, but we've actually seen the exact opposite happen with Walmart. So potentially these sales could ramp up in Q2 and just reflect a quarter later as opposed to the traditional Q1 buying of barbecue grills and other outdoor items. Anthony Tripp says, weren't you just at Lincoln Center? Yeah, we took, what is that company called? I think Uber just acquired it. Blade, I think it is. So speaking of Blade, I think Blade is in huge, big time litigations with the town of Hampton Bays, I believe, or Southampton. NMB 045 says Montreal had a heat wave last week when New York City didn't. Very strange weather patterns. Wow. That is really strange, NMB 045. So what is your definition of a heat wave in Montreal? Is it mid-70s, would you say? Or sort of what did that look like? But I want to cross the street here. We never walk over here on the stream, mainly because it was under construction, but now it is fully open. So you guys will be able to see the brand new street and walkway that just went up here in downtown Miami. Noodles X says it's been very windy here in New York. Yeah, the wind has been crazy. I mean, we were streaming in New York City over Mother's Day weekend, and it was wild, the wind and the rain as well. EBITDA is here, says it was crazy to see what Walmart reported. Really interested to see what Target reports now. Yeah, EBITDA, I said the same thing. It was really weird. But here's another thing that's even more weird than that. Did you see Home Depot reported a blowout quarter today? And I actually would think the quite opposite. If we could go back in time and you asked me, who do you think is going to report a better quarter, Walmart or Home Depot? I would have said Walmart 100%. But it was the complete and total opposite. And one of the interesting things that the CEO of Home Depot said is they had record sales and record demand in their remodeling of bathrooms, in their remodeling of kitchens, because if you think about it, what he said is the vast majority of our customers who bought homes between 2011 and 2022 right now all have less than 5%, well, pretty much all less than 4% interest rates. So there's no incentive to sell now, because you would just have to buy another piece of property at a 5% or even 6% interest rate. So the CEO of Home Depot, essentially what he said on the call is he's like, we're seeing customers and just to spend all of their excess cash on remodeling their existing properties, which I guess makes sense, because if we look at the housing data as a whole, we are experiencing an extreme shortage of supply. So demand is extremely high, but supply is extremely low. So I guess instead of people, trying to move during a pandemic and having to incur all those costs, they're like, why would I take out a mortgage at almost 5% going on 6%? Why don't I just remodel and make my home nicer? So I guess it makes sense. I never thought about it like that, but those were the comments directly out of the CEO of Home Depot. But check this out, guys. This is brand new. This just opened today, or maybe not today. I think about 2 or 3 days ago. But this is a complete and total remodel. And one of the things that they did is they're making the side, which I think is a pretty unique idea. So there's no curb, so you don't have to step up or ride your scooters over a big curb or a bike. Everything is going to be the exact same ground level, which I think is pretty cool. But let me know if we are buffering, because we've never streamed in this vicinity before. Hey, GX72 says howdy, good to see you. Clara says walks to Wall Street. Do you have a LinkedIn? So I do have a LinkedIn. I do. NMB045 says, so for those selling their house, location I guess is more of an important factor. Yeah, I mean, I guess so. It was really surprising to me that Home Depot, this was the record or the best Q1 in Home Depot's history. So this was the best quarter in Home Depot's history. So I think a lot of people were saying, hey, as mortgage rates go up, less people are going to be buying homes. So that means less people are going to be buying things for those homes that they're buying. But I never thought about it the other way, that people are staying put and are going to continue to pay down the debt on their mortgages where they already have low rates and just use the excess funds to just remodel the homes they already have. Never thought about it like that, but I guess what Home Depot is saying is the truth. It shows up in the financials. So, hey, Al J is here. Welcome, Al J. Joan is here. Welcome, Joan. Chris Beeman. Chris Beeman is joining us from Arizona. Hope you had a great Tuesday, Chris. Parking Full Time is here. Good to see you. Yogi says Home Depot is going to be okay for at least the next 5 years. Still a lot of homes to be built. So now that we've sort of unpacked the positives about the report, I always like to be a little bit of a contrarian here and give you guys my thoughts on the negatives of the report. And there wasn't much, but we have to dig up something. So I did. So what do you guys think about this? This is what I'm going to say, and you guys feel free to rip it apart, tear it apart, whatever you got to do. So, since we're over here, we might as well go to the Miami Bowl. We haven't been there in quite some time, so maybe we'll do that right now. Let's talk about same-store sales for just a minute. So, considering that Home Depot reported a great quarter, here's the downside. Customer transactions overall So the overall volume of individual transactions actually fell 8.2%. Check out this mural here on the side of the wall. So overall consumer transactions at Home Depot fell. They were offset by higher sales amid record inflation. So what does this mean? That means there were less individual purchases, but revenue was higher overall for one reason. And that reason is higher prices for the goods. So here's my question to Home Depot if I was the analyst. I would say, are you seeing the reason that your revenue is increasing because you're seeing increased demand, or is it because people are forced to spend more on existing products and services now that inflation is higher, thus increasing the cost of your products? Because that's a big tell there. What that says to me is that people are going to Home Depot to buy things, more money, but getting less for what they're spending. So a couple things could be happening. And it's exactly what we've been talking about for a while now on the streams. And usually in times of inflation, I always say companies and the businesses that have extremely strong brands, because then they will be able to have stronger pricing power. And I think that's the case we're seeing here at Home Depot. So for example, if Home Depot's costs are going to go up 15% across the board in many of their popular products, well, Home Depot's probably going to build in extra margin for those products. So when consumers go to the store and buy these products, even though they may buy less stuff, they're going to end up paying more, and Home Depot will actually get a little bit of a bump in their gross margin, if that makes sense. So I don't know if that's actually a good thing that may help the company perform well in maybe 1 or 2 quarters, but how long can the consumer withstand that? That's the question. How long can the consumer stand to go into the Home Depot store, pay more for products, and get less? So what do you guys think about that? I'll read the chat. Penelope says forced to spend more, ? I'm not so sure. Lots of people go to salvage/used places. What is Home Depot offering for that, and who is overspending there? Well, maybe if you want to remodel a kitchen or a dining room or something like that, maybe you walk into the Home Depot and that patio set that you're buying for $2,000 used to cost $1,500, something like that. So I think that's sort of what the idea is there. Hey, yo, Chad is here. What's up, man? With what you were saying, that all company right now, though, including Tesla and so forth. Yeah, and I think, and this also creates a political divide as well. Here's the Metro Mover going by the way. Because here's what'll happen, and we've gone over this many times. Let me actually read a couple more chats, and then I'll explain. Lewis says, Tom, it depends on your product category. You can't leave consumers some kind. Customers become more rational and set priorities. It's a good point. Clara says, walks on Wall Street. Are you a sales and trading analyst? I am not. So that when I graduated college, I wanted to be in sales and trading, but then I went into tech sales. So now I am in enterprise tech sales, where I sell software and hardware to large Fortune 500, Fortune 50 companies. But that's actually was my original plan. I wanted to work at the investment bank in sales and trading. Wow, check this out. The Metro Mover going by. Eyeglass Lady says, Tom, that's exactly what happened to me. I even took a picture of employee, I put it back when they didn't offer me any favors. Maybe Walmart's website. So you're saying you walked in with sort of an outdated price, and when you walked into the store, that price was now higher. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely possible. What on Wall Street don't do, they'll just look at the numbers and throw them into a spreadsheet, right? And that's all well and good, but I think you need to take it a step further and actually understand what those numbers mean, right? So you could have a blowout quarter and your revenues could be up 300% in that quarter, but what is the sustainability behind that, right? Were your customers happy spending more money? You know, sort of what is the customer engagement? So I think these are the more appropriate questions to ask. So thank you for the insight on that. Don Smith says, rumor is Wall Street crushed Luna because of GameStop. Wall Street doesn't care about that Ponzi. Luna is a, I don't want to say, but I believe allegedly, clear Ponzi scheme. I mean, if something is, one of the protocols of Terra Luna is offering investors 19.5% risk-free returns. I mean, at some point, investors need to, it's sort of like the saying, if it's too good to be true, it probably is. But I'll leave it at that. I read this. It says Francisco brand French bread is almost $5.75 here. Yikes. So we are here at Miami-Dade. We are going to cross the street and see the Miami Bowl. So let me check out some more of the comments. John says, what is the world coming to? A shooting at the grocery store in Buffalo? That was horrible. Horrible. Astro Alex says, I remember watching these streams a few months ago, just blowing up in popularity. Hey, Astro Alex, thank you for the kindness and the kind words, and I very, very much appreciate and value your viewership very much. Yo, hey, Chad Anthony says, hey Tom, I'm going to be in Miami on June 6th to the 12th. Dude, you're gonna love it here. Make sure you go to, you know, I'll give you a suggestion. Very seldom do I give out food recommendations here, mainly because I'm not too familiar with that many places, but we're gonna walk past a really good sushi place that I recommend. So remind me to recommend that. Matthew says, who watches Jeremiah on YouTube? I've never heard of him, I don't know, but if you want to drop his link in our Discord, I'd be more than happy to check that out. Clara says, walks on Wall Street, says, what made you get into walking and exploring? Do you prioritize happiness over income? Well, I don't do this. I think it's really enjoyable. You know, after work, sometimes I could work 12-hour days. And then I sort of want something to do at night. And I've also found out, you know, we stream 5 days a week and we have a specific topic every night in relation to finance, the market, economics. And I feel like as you're talking about things, it and plus, you know, sometimes we could talk to over 450 people all the way up to 800 people a night and get different perspectives on things. So it helps me learn while we're getting some exercise. NMB045 says, Tom, it's not just Home Depot though. Most retail stores will never find someone who could help. Jones is clear stream tonight. This is why is the street closed off? So this is a walking only street because this is Miami-Dade College. They're doing some sort of construction here, but this is the Financial and Business Center here at Miami-Dade College. Beautiful campus, by the way, but we are about to see the Miami Bowl. But also, guys, I know I've been procrastinating on getting out the Behind the Street newsletter, but it will be out tomorrow. I'm putting the finishing touches on it. So if you type !news, N-E-W-S, in the chat, the Nightbot will drop the link. A free investing newsletter that I write every single Tuesday. Well, it's been really every other Tuesday now that things have been picking up at work. But if you want to learn more about the stock market, commodities markets, fixed income, and have more of a back and forth conversation, that's sort of where we do it over there. But now this is the Miami Bull, which is very, very unique in its nature. I believe it is supposed to represent Miami's big push for technology jobs in the blockchain sector. Hey, Walmart label and not brands. Walmart reported a terrible quarter, unfortunately. But that is usually the trend that happens close to recessions. You were right. Hey, Dutchman, says Tom, the digital bull is beautiful. I know, Dutchman says, speaking of the bull, where's our mighty bull? We gotta go get him. Revis says, are those eyes lit up or is it glow in the dark? No, so these are actually lights in the bull's eyes. So this actually was debuted during the 2022 Bitcoin conference, which we had a press pass to. But yes, so the Behind the Street newsletter will be out tomorrow. And the goal with the newsletter is to give my thoughts more in depth on the market, because a lot of the time, and a lot of interesting things that we don't get to talk about and expand on. So in the newsletter, I like to expand on those things a little bit more in detail. So if you want to continue the conversation talking about US equities, emerging markets as well, fixed income, the housing market, please sign up for our Behind the Street newsletter. So all you have to do is type !news, N-E-W-S, in the chat, punch in your email, and you'll receive it for free, usually every other week. Wow, but guys, check this out. This is the side of the bull. Clara says, did you graduate college recently? What year was it? I forget the year, maybe 2018. I think I was the class of 2018. Wendy England says, if you had a real bull in front of you, you're looking like Ron. I know, insane. Also, everybody, when I go home tonight, I have to check the volume on the market, because today could have been a follow-through day. I did not have enough time to check the volume, so we closed green across the board in the NASDAQ 100, the S&P 500. So if the volume was higher today than it was yesterday, that means we did have a follow-through day, in which case I would have to get long something. But obviously right now these follow-through days are prone to failure, being that the market is so severely damaged under the 50-day, 200-day. Just keep out for that. I'll probably do another stream tomorrow to talk more about that. But I think the lights are actually changing colors now on the Mighty Bull. But you know, we did actually get a chance to go to the 2022 Bitcoin conference in Miami. We actually got a press pass there, which was a great experience to hear from some of the top fund managers, VCs and private equity guys, which was a blast. We actually got to see Orlando Bravo in person. And Orlando Bravo is the very famous founder Puerto Rican billionaire, founder of the Thoma Bravo Private Equity Group, an extremely profitable private equity firm on Wall Street that cybersecurity company private called SailPoint. The ticker symbol was SAIL. But great company, good company. I think that they can really do a lot of good things there. So Thoma Bravo, check him out. It's earnings today, everybody. Actually, we'll do Home Depot since it was a little bit more optimistic. I'll try to keep it on a better note. Earnings per share, EPS, crushed Wall Street analysts' expectations, coming in at $4.09. The majority of analysts on Wall Street were expecting $3.68, so a pretty decent sized beat on the bottom line. Now, talking about revenue, $38.91 billion worth of revenue. Analysts on the street were expecting $36.72 billion. Crushed it on the top and the bottom line. But I think more importantly, same-store sales increased 2.2%. But if we dig a little bit deeper, we'll find out that average customer transactions actually fell about 8.2%. And that was probably because average ticket size actually increased. So not only were people spending more money, but the reason why people were spending more money is probably due to inflationary pressures, as we talked about. And I think the last piece of compelling data from that earnings report was that transaction volume in excess of $1,000 increased 12.4%. So that means anytime you walk into Home Depot and you have a bill of over $1,000, that was up almost 13% year over year. So very interesting there. And my opinion, it's probably that people are spending more against their will, as opposed to going to Home Depot and actually spending money and getting more goods. Joan is here. Hey, Samantha R is here. Says, hey, good to see you. John says, I like your live stream. Job with the live stream each night. Well, thank you so much. We appreciate you being here. We are on the campus of Miami-Dade College. Christian Hansen, good to see you. Parking full time, says Tom. The volume on the S&P 500 was higher today than Monday, but only slightly, still relatively low. So yeah, then I guess that qualifies for an actual follow-through day, but the odds or the probabilities of that follow-through day holding are probably very low, unfortunately. Lewis, Tom, if you have to change your home furniture, will you do it now or when inflation hits higher? Well, I definitely wouldn't wait for inflation to ramp higher to buy a product that's probably going to go up in price. And maybe that's why we're seeing a lot of increased sales at Home Depot. So I think a lot of people that, to the CEO's point, that wants to remodel their house, maybe they're scared that if they do the remodeling after the summer and into the fall, it's going to cost them maybe 25% more to redo that kitchen, because the cost of the raw materials to do it and the labor could potentially go up even more. So maybe there's a lot of pull forward in that. Be right. So here's another view of the Mighty Bull. Ibrahim Azam says, hey Tom, what college did you go to? I went to a CUNY school in the City University in New York called John Jay, College of Criminal Justice, on 59th Street in Columbus Circle. Hey, UPS1 says, I have a feeling Target will beat earnings too. not because people are being forced to, but because they want to. People are buying more name brands, so that's a sign. This is UPS. Yeah, well, I mean, UPS, if Walmart is a telltale sign for us, Walmart actually bombed earnings pretty bad. Said is the reason why they bombed. They said that they were very, very slow in getting a lot of the inventory in of a lot of the spring and summer items. So you could talk about chlorine to disinfect the pool, or pool cleaners, outdoor patio furniture. And when they got those items in, they didn't sell. And one of the reasons for that is, well, what they're blaming it on, I should say, is due to the fact that temperatures in the Northeast specifically, but across the country, have actually been colder than normal. So people are staying inside, they're not buying barbecue grills, they're not opening up the pool yet because it's been so freezing. And I 100% agree. We had this conversation at the beginning of the stream where I said, look, I was just in New York City for Mother's Day and it was raining, it was cloudy, it was freezing. But on the flip side of that, it can be 70 degrees in New York City all the way into October and November. So I think the seasons are just shifting over a little bit. And that's actually one of the reasons why I moved to Miami, because I kind of like the heat and humidity all year round. Theresa Roberts says, hey Tom, what did you major in? So I just did the basic criminal justice major with a minor in economics. But I did take some forensic accounting classes, which I thought were quite helpful. Hey, UPS One says, Tom, Walmart in their last earnings said they wouldn't pass the cost on to customers as well. However, what confused me was they said they didn't have inventory issues due to... Interesting. That is interesting, UPS. Send me that if you're in our Discord. Hey, Laytha is here. Good to see you, Laytha. So, Laytha, we just passed the Mighty Bowl. But now we are going to go to the FTX Arena, where I believe there's a Miami Heat game going on. But since we never walk over this way, I will actually show you guys the Culinary Institute of Miami, or the Miami Culinary Institute. So all of the chefs and things like that get their degrees in this building across the street. Hey, Exploration says, hey Tom, I have a degree in criminal justice as well. Awesome. Definitely wouldn't recommend it. If I had to do it all over again, I definitely wouldn't do that. Probably go into like STEM or something like that. Hey, Ben says, I went criminal justice and psych. Should have gone your route. Yeah, I mean, you know, you never know where life is going to take you. Life is very strange. You know, I thought I was going to be an NYPD police officer. Fast forward 5 years. You know, I'm selling software and tech hardware to Fortune 500 companies. So you never really know where... Yeah, so everybody, they close off all the traffic. Well, actually, I'm not sure if this is specifically for the Miami Heat game. But we'll have to see. But this is Northeast 2nd Avenue. GX72 says, where is the recommended sushi shop? We're about to walk past it, maybe in about 15 minutes. Yeah, I would, if I had to do it all over again, I'd probably do like CS. The Metro Mover looks so crazy, snaking through the city like that. Hey, Claris's Walks on Wall Street, were you also lived in Miami? Yeah, so I live in Miami. I split my time 50-50 between New York City and Miami, but from Long Island, New York. So a little bit outside of Queens in Nassau County. So Long Island is Brooklyn, Queens, Nassau, and Suffolk counties. You know, speaking of Suffolk County, in the Hamptons, did you guys see that article in the Wall Street Journal where there's huge litigation? I mean, talk about first world problems. It's almost nauseating to read the article, because essentially it's just a bunch of rich people complaining about the noises of private jets flying from Manhattan to Southampton. And if you read the article, it's like, I almost had to put the paper down. I couldn't even read it. I was getting nauseous reading it. And these people are so out of touch. I mean, it's good to get rich and, you know, have a lot of money. I mean, you guys know we do a stream about the markets all the time. But I think if once you make it and you make millions, don't lose sight of everyday people out there. Like that I can't stand. Like these people in the article, like they had their lawyers making statements like, my nephew is waking up from his 15-minute nap because the private jets are flying overhead. Nobody should have to live like that. I'm like, you sound like some type of freak. I'm like, dude, you have people getting shelled and killed in Ukraine right now, and you're crying because your 5-year-old nephew is getting woken up by a private jet in your multi-million-dollar Southampton mansion. I don't know, that stuff kind of gets to me. You got to have some perspective. It's not the end of the world. If you got to have at least some perspective. Jeff says, what article? So there's a really, really crazy litigation going on right now between the town of Southampton, I believe, and East Hampton, Southampton, and Blade, and a lot of the private jet companies. Because obviously during the summer, a lot of the big Wall Streeters and all the mega millionaires, they like to go out to the Hamptons and party, which is understandable. But the locals in the Hamptons they're freaking out, and but their claims just sound so out of touch with reality. I mean, their claims are like, my son has to take, his naps, and he's getting woken up, every hour and a half because the private jets are flying overhead. And it's like, I mean, dude, if you live in East Hampton, I mean, just install some, soundproof windows. I mean, there's a lot more resourcefulness that we could be using with our money than spending multi-millions of dollars on litigation over private jets and helicopters flying into East Hampton. I don't know. I'm rambling now. But more importantly, everybody, we have now almost reached our destination. And in about an hour, it's going to be packed here because if you could see all these cars, there's a big playoff game going on tonight. Hey everybody, please check out our pal Action Kid. Action Kid says, Tom, I remember reading the article because they couldn't get into the restaurants there. Yeah, I mean, it seems like they find something to complain about. I think this article, I think it was in the paper yesterday or 2 days ago, about they want to limit the amount of private jets or something like that. It's just so ridiculous. Yeah, the ABX girl, you're right. Is not getting out of a store or a church this weekend. I agree. Yeah, I think just people, you got to put it into perspective. Like, don't let the little things freak you out in life. I think it's going to be all right. And I get it, like, yeah, it sucks that your kid's getting woken up, but I think the way the article was written, when you read something and you're like, ooh, that's such a bad take. Like, have you, I mean, obviously everybody's probably read an article and you're like, ooh, that is such a bad take, or that sounds so bad. It just sounds a little bit cringeworthy, like out of touch. And I think some people can just get a little bit out of touch. So I think it's important to stay grounded and humble and in touch with what the vast majority of people have to go through. But everybody, this is the Paramount building. Beautiful building here in downtown Miami. Lots of them lately, I know. Yeah, life begins at 40 truck. Says, yeah, if they complain about the noise, I mean, if you live in East Hampton, I mean, for those of you who are in the chat that are not New York, there's probably a good 80% chance that if you live in East Hampton or Southampton, you're probably in the top at least 10%. It may be income earners and net worth in America, probably the world. So, I mean, if there's some airplane noise, you know, spend 20 grand to put in some, noise cancellation windows or something. But these people are spending multi-millions of dollars in litigation. I mean, I think those resources could be put to better use. Ooh, I think we're buffering a little bit. Can you guys let me know in the chat if we're buffering a teeny bit? Anthony Tripp. He's like, I'm very humble, just ask the valets. Gonna D are where all the political crooks are. Mike sees says, Tom, I need some noise cancellation windows. So guys, in about an hour, guys and girls, I believe this place is gonna be mobbed. So I'm not sure who the Miami Heat is playing, but supposedly there's a big playoff game right here in Miami. And it looks like the police are prepping for massive crowds here, and the traffic is going to be really, really crazy. And I think it's gonna take me quite some time to get home tonight because the bus that I get comes right around here. But once they let everybody out of the Heat game, they actually close down this road here. An airport and barely notice any airplane noise. Yeah, I mean, I've lived in New York City for a while. So, I mean, I don't really, like, nothing really phases me anymore in terms of like noise and things like that, for sure. So we'll cross the street and I'll show you guys an even better view. Oh, first off, we have to go to that sushi place that I recommended to one of the viewers. I think it's called Sushi Sake something. S-A-K-E. Also, guys, so a mini topic for the stream I wanted to bring up. Interesting article again in the Wall Street Journal. If you remember correctly, about 3 months ago, we covered this topic in relation to wildfires. Okay, now, not only in relation to wildfires, but flooding. We have to talk about that, hurricanes and things like that. So there's a big problem in the insurance industry right now, not only exclusive to California, but happening in places like Louisiana, obviously, Florida. A lot of these insurance companies are going bust because a lot of these storms and weather patterns are getting really, it's increasing every single year. So especially here in Florida, you have pretty much one main insurance company that underwrites a lot of the policies. That is called Citizens. It is like a government subsidized owned insurance company. But if we talk about California, the wildfires have gotten so crazy that insurance companies are actually calling homeowners right now and canceling their policies. They're saying, look, we just can't renew it. We can't take on that risk. I'll pause there. This is seldom do I get sushi, but I did come here for lunch and ordered takeout. It was a fantastic place, very, very good. So if anybody is in Miami, downtown Miami, if you go to 900 Biscayne Bay, I would highly recommend this restaurant. So I think this is the first restaurant I've ever recommended on the stream in Miami. But this one's fantastic, really, really good. But yeah, back to that topic. So, and it's heartbreaking, right? Because California is a beautiful state, and unfortunately, a lot of homes and developments are right in the way of these horrible, horrible wildfires. So to make matters worse, not only is it an absolute tragedy for your home to be burned down, I don't wish it on anybody, but now could you imagine knowing that your home is susceptible to wildfires, you getting a call from your insurance company and they say, hey, listen, we can't renew your policy, the risk is too great, you just have to find somewhere else. So a lot of homeowners are actually going uninsured, which is crazy. And I think we're just starting to see that in some parts of southern Florida as well, obviously for the flood risk and the hurricane risk. But the main two markets where that is happening right now is California, mainly due to the wildfires, and parts of Louisiana for obvious reasons for the hurricanes as well. Don Smith. Wouldn't call the National Guard to help with the fires. Yeah, it doesn't seem like anybody is too happy with Gavin Newsom. Hey, Sunshine New York City is here. What's going on, Sunshine? Always a pleasure to have you on the streams. Hopefully you're doing good. Checkers X says, Tom, the California governor refuses to manage the forest fires. Latha says, I love living in Cali, but we do have a lot of wildfires. Yeah, California is a beautiful, beautiful state. It's unfortunate, and I think we need to find a solution for that, because here's the main reason. Without, I don't really want to get too political. You guys know me. I don't like getting political on the streams, but one of the main reasons why a lot of insurance companies are pulling out of California, the government will not allow insurance companies to model their risk based on future assessment of forest fires and wildfires. So what do I mean by that? As we know, again, I don't want to get political, but climate change is an issue. Whether you agree with it or not, that's not the debate. That's not the point. The point is, insurance companies have analysts working for them, and they model the deal. And if it's not a lucrative deal where the insurance company can make money, problem. California will not allow insurance companies to model risk for wildfires in California based on future projections. Now, any scientists, or the overwhelming majority of scientists you talk to, say yes, wildfires are going to get extremely more prevalent and worse in the future. I mean, the majority of scientists say, hey, this is a real thing, this is an issue, we're going to see more forest fires, wildfires. Well, the state of California will not allow insurance companies to take that data into modeling their risk. So in essentially that's a way for California to try to keep insurance premiums down. But here's the problem. The insurance company's like, listen, state of California, there's no way in heck that I'm going to write a policy when every single scientist that I talk to is saying that there's a 50% chance or a 50% increase in forest fires and wildfires over the next 5 to 10 to 15 years. So the insurance premiums are going to have to go up. Maybe that's 50%, maybe that's 25%. California doesn't. Fine, we just won't write the policy at all. And now it's leaving many people without homeowners insurance. And unfortunately, I think it's going to happen not only exclusive to California, but Florida as well. And that may be an issue that I run into personally on my home down the road. Hopefully I don't, but there is a possibility, because Florida, especially southern Florida, gets hit with a lot of hurricanes. 1000 Museum. It's one of my favorite structures here in downtown Miami. Benz shouldn't have expanded into the higher fire risk areas, especially in the areas that are most inaccessible to fire crews. That's a good point. Richard Baxter says there's a fool born every day. Richard Baxter says, I know an idiot when I see one. Good to see you. Clara, good to see you. Iriva says, we could see it. It's so dry and it hardly rains here in California. Palmeiras says insurance companies and politics boom. Eyeglass Lady says, my father worked in agriculture and knew about poor forest management for years. Hey, Andy from South Korea is here. Good to see you, Andy. Hope you're doing well. Wendy England says, then the bank could call your mortgage. Yeah, it's a big possibility. It's a big problem right now in California with that. XOXX Bob says 1000 Museum architect Hadid. Ah, wow, that's horrible. I didn't know he died. Hey, the ABX girl says, Tom, people are complaining to Airbnb for renting homes and not getting insurance on if their rental is burned out. Well, I think you have to have insurance. All right, guys, let's in the chat. Let's no bickering in the chat and going back and forth, please. But Andy is joining us from South Korea. A pleasure to have you here, Andy. Hope you're well, and hopefully it's warming up in your neck of the woods. But we're gonna cross Biscayne Boulevard here, US Highway 1. And hopefully, if we're lucky, we'll get to see some dolphins again tonight. But Sunshine, New York City, always good to see you. Sunshine, you got to get down to Miami. If I remember correctly, didn't you say you have some family in Fort Lauderdale or something like that? 61 says, Tom, a lot of Uber drivers waiting outside the arena. Yeah. You know, it looks like a lot of private cars too, maybe like chauffeurs and things like that. Hey, Sky says, I don't want to bicker and argue over who killed who. Monty Python. All right, so we're crossing and let's see. Well, yesterday, if you guys remember on the stream, we were actually watching a lot of people fishing for shrimp. We actually saw some sharks, a beautiful full moon, which we actually can see tonight as well. Wow, check that out. What do you guys think of that? Beautiful full moon over the FTX arena. Sunshine, New York City, says Tom. I have family in West Palm Beach and Tampa. Awesome. Guys, check out that full moon over Miami. Talk about beautiful there. Hey, Deborah says 91-76 Miami at the end of the third quarter. So if Miami is winning by a large margin, that means there's going to be a lot of people pouring out of here very soon. John says, Tom, I sent you an email, not sure if you received it. Send it to walkswallstreet@gmail.com. The other email address I seldom use. But let's be out on the lookout for dolphin watch. Sometimes we get lucky, everybody. Sometimes we'll see a dolphin or a manatee or something like that. Hey, DJ's reviews in under 2. This is Hey Tom. Is there a fine arts college there still? I went to the International Fine Arts College back in 1990. I think the name has changed since then. You know, I'm actually not sure about that. I could find out for you though. I think there are some native Floridians in the chat if they want to help me out on that one, because not too sure. But if you guys are enjoying, feel free to leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel if you are new. We go live about 5 days a week between Miami and New York City and talk about the economy, finance, and pretty much anything. Apologize, guys. I have one eye on the chat and one eye looking for dolphins. So just bear with me here. Laytha, I love that joke. Laytha says the plane flying over is disturbing my enjoyment. Laytha, maybe I'll have to interview you for a Wall Street Journal article. Yeah, Sunshine, New York City says, Tom, if you sing Frank Sinatra's music, that they may run in and hide. But maybe if anybody has a boombox, we could play Old Blue Eyes. Astro Alex says, hey Tom, did you tune into the Miami Grand Prix? So I didn't. I was still in New York at the time. So that is that Formula One racing. Is that correct? That took place here? Hey, JF says you'll find plenty of dolphins at the football. You know, ever since I've been in Miami, I've never been to a sporting event. I'm gonna have to change that. But supposedly, a lot of people I was talking to said that going to a University of Miami football game is actually more entertaining than the Miami Dolphins. Not sure if that's true, but it's what I hear. I hear things in the water, like jumping out, but everybody check this out. Beautiful skyline of downtown Miami here. Lil V 1008 says, hey Tom, have you ever met Action Kid? Yes, many times. Actually last night, we ran into him very close to here, actually. Wow, you guys could actually hear the basketball game going on. I'll zoom in, you could actually see one of the private boxes. Check that out. Hold on, I'll stop talking so you guys could actually hear the commentary. Hey, Sergey is here. Good to see you, Sergey. This is hey Tom from Moscow, Russia. As I could see on the other web cameras right now, very strong rain in St. Augustine, Florida. Is it really? Well, hopefully it doesn't come our way. Let me know in the chat if you guys could hear the game. I could hear it clearly from out here. Hey, D Jasmine is here. Good to see you. So you guys can hear. That's cool. So let's walk all the way behind the arena. Because if you go behind the arena, you could actually see directly into the arena through the glass there. It's a backwards live stream. I hear things jumping in the water, but I can't see anything. '61 says nice view from downtown area. Okay, everybody, if you look straight ahead, I'm hearing something jump out of the water. Oh, we got one. Dolphin number 1 of the night. Hold on, let me zoom in on it. But this is, right over here real quick, this is where all of the massive cruise ships take off. But it looks like we got a dolphin right in this area. Let me see if I can zoom in. They pop up so fast. Hey, Mario is here. Says regards from Argentina. Anybody living in Kendall, Miami? Well, Kendall is supposed to be one of the, I guess you could call it high rent districts. So extremely, extremely beautiful homes. In Kendall, beautiful area, beautiful neighborhood. I personally don't, but I'm not sure about anybody in the chat. Maybe. So I'll show you guys one more beautiful view of downtown Miami. And then we're gonna see the beautiful full moon over Miami. Samantha R says the dolphins are playing hide and seek. I mean, during the day, you could see them clear. Hey, Lockjaw's here. Good to see you, my friend. Andy, how's the weather in South Korea? Hopefully things are warming up for you. Wow, check out the moon. Hey, Camille says, hey, I'm in Miami. Good to see you. Beautiful city. And an even better full moon tonight. You know, last night on the stream, if you guys want to go back and rewatch last night's stream, we actually got to see quite a few dolphins jumping out of the water. Fishing here. I think that may have been why. But this is the back of the FTX Arena, so the very back parking lot. Hey, Mario says, hey, Tom, inflation is high in the United States right now. Yeah, I mean, you know, Mario, we were just talking about that because Home Depot reported earnings. And even though they reported higher than expected revenue and profit, or EPS, or earnings per share, if we look into the report, one of the interesting things that the CEO of Home Depot said is net transaction volume was actually down about 8%. But average ticket price was actually up. So maybe it's because, you know, revenue may be up not because there's increased demand, but people are forced to pay more for the same thing. And I think that data is pretty conclusive, being that net volume in excess of $1,000 or transactions over $1,000 was actually up almost 18%. So it seems like maybe if you want to do a home renovation project or something like that, redo your kitchen. That was something. Redo your kitchen, maybe it's going to cost you more for the same. Hey, Mark Davis is here. What's up, Mark? So Mark is our medical marijuana expert in the chat from the one and only Toronto, Canada. So Mark, the video I posted today, we actually were walking directly past the Dakota, beautiful building on the Upper West Side of Manhattan. But right now we are looking over the beautiful full moon. 61 says that is the Virgin Port Terminal. Yeah, I think this is where a lot of the cruise ships dock and pick up customers and things like that. No, I know for a fact the dolphins are here. I know for a fact. I hear them. But we just gotta catch one on camera. But if you look all the way over here, this is the Intercontinental Hotel and Bayside. Hey, Disney cast members here. Good to see you, Disney. So we are in the very back of the FTX Arena. Let me zoom in for you guys so you could actually see. You could see the main, what is it called? The teleprompter? I don't even know what it's called. But the main screen, the scoreboard, I guess, right here. You could actually see it inside the FTX Arena right now. You can see them, they pop up really quick and then they go down. There he is, right there. You see him, guys? We got one. Oh, we have two. So I think he's coming right here. Oh, there he is. Man, he's fast. You see him? Oh, here's another one. There's another. Oh, he's right under us, guys. Dolphin. I know I'm moving the camera so fast. I apologize, but I see him. I'm not sure how good it comes out on the camera, but you can see them. There he is. Did you guys see that? He just jumped. Oh, there he is. So cool. These things are beautiful. All right, I'm gonna put my backpack down because I'm determined to get a beautiful shot for you guys. And this will forever be the Walks in Wall Street dolphin. Yeah, oh, there he is. Here, watch. He's coming right for us. There he is. You guys had to have seen that. Wow, look, there's two of them. They're beautiful. Whoa. That's insane. These things are amazing. There he is. Wow, there's two of them. I know you guys are probably like, Tom is such a nerd, but I mean, these things are just beautiful creatures. There's two of them right here. Oh, he's coming right under us, this guy. He's about to swim right underneath us. There he is. Wow, look at him. Right there. Wow. I think that's called the dorsal fin, I think you can see on him. I think you guys are starting to see it in the chat, which is great. Wow, this one is so clear. So this one looks a lot smaller than the other two that are way out there. Maybe this is the baby one. Wow. We're following him right here. Hopefully he'll make a dive right for us. I would love that. Yeah, Jimmy T, isn't this cool? I think they went away now. Well, that was awesome. Yeah, it's getting late, so I think they're headed out. Hope motivates us. That was amazing. Well, hopefully you guys enjoyed that little bit of a dolphin show here. I don't know what dolphins eat. I don't think you're actually supposed to feed them. I think that interferes with the wildlife, but I'm gonna Google that. But I'm not sure if we're allowed to do that, so let me not do that. Oh, there he is. Right here. All right, we'll watch this guy one more time, do one lap, and then we'll head out. Wow, that was a good one. He came all the way out of the water. think he's gone. All right, that was cool. Sunshine in New York City, isn't it cool? All right, let me get my backpack. Beautiful creatures. So lucky to be able to see these right in my backyard. Sabrina Ferris is very cool. Photos from around New York says, what did I miss? Ooh, photos. You missed a good stream, man. But the good news is, if you rewind about 15 minutes, we were watching some beautiful dolphins jump in and out of the water here. We actually got a pretty good shot of them. I think I'm gonna rewatch this part of the stream and see how well it came out on camera. But in person, they look fantastic. Yeah, Wendy England says you're gonna get swamped by basketball fans. That is true. All right, we'll get this guy and then we'll leave. They probably can't hear my whistle, but... Ooh, there he is. Oh, he's right under us. He got away. There he is. Did you guys see him cruise by right under us? Oh, there's two of them. Look at him. Hey, what's up, guys? Wow. Oh my gosh, he's doing a U-turn. Man, these guys move quick. Look at these guys. Whoa. They want to be on Walks on Wall Street tonight. Wow, beautiful creatures. Oh, hopefully I got that. That was cool. That was probably amazing. Yeah, sunshine after rain's like, don't fall in. Well, if I do fall in, hopefully these guys will help me out. All right, I think that's enough dolphin watching for tonight. We'll be back tomorrow night. Strider's like you got your own private aquarium. Hey, Out and About is here. What's up, Out and About? From Toronto, Canada, our great moderator. Jimmy T says I could dolphin watch all night. Same here, man. Hey, Daniel G is here from Buenos Aires, Argentina. Good to see you. I think they hear the whistling. There they come. Oh, I think they're gone. Hey, Dolly Girl Twins is here. Says this study shows evidence that bottlenose dolphins are able to respond to individual sound cues produced by humans. Wow. Well, hopefully they can hear. Yes, Sierra C is like, you could put Dolphin Whisperer on your resume. That's probably the skill I'm most proud of. All right, I guess we'll pack it in for tonight. I'm hearing people saying that the Miami Heat game is going to end in about 7 minutes. But that was awesome. I think that was a fantastic way to conclude the stream. Ooh, here's another. I have tons of these birds near my house. Here, let me zoom in because you can. Their heads are beautiful blue color. They're amazing. Oh, we just traded places. So I think dolphins are my new favorite sea creature. Manatees, we see tons of them on the streams as well. But I think dolphins are... So we'll head back in, but everybody, just to sort of recap the stream, if you want to watch it from the beginning, if you're just tuning in, we did do a deep dive into Walmart's earnings report as well as Home Depot's earnings report. We briefly talked about the problems that are going on in California, but not only California, in places that are prone to wildfires, hurricanes, and things like that in relation to insurance. So if you want to join in on the conversation in a little bit more detail, feel free to replay the stream. In other news, I do have the Behind the Street newsletter coming out tomorrow. I know it has been a while since I've put one out. It's been about 2 weeks, but it's just been very busy. So that is going to drop tomorrow. So if you want to stay informed on that, if you type !news, NEWS in the chat, just punch in your email and you will receive a comprehensive financial newsletter written by myself covering not only US equities markets, but emerging markets, fixed income, and the like. Usually send it out to the group every single Tuesday. So feel free to join us there. With that, I appreciate you guys for coming. The Miami Heat game is probably going to get out right now, so I want to catch the bus before I have to wait in a big traffic jam. But we will be back tomorrow. Beach tomorrow. I'm not sure, so that is to be determined. That is tentative. And then everybody, next week we're going to be in Atlantic City, New Jersey. Not sure if I'm going to be able to make a stream, but I will try. Hopefully the weather will be nice. But if you guys enjoyed the stream tonight, feel free to leave a like on the video and subscribe if you are new. I see our great moderator from New Jersey, Lady O, is here. This is all catching it late. Lady O, you gotta rewind the stream about 30 minutes. Well, maybe not that late. About 15 minutes, we saw a crazy, crazy dolphin show on the stream tonight. It's like a must watch. I think I'm actually gonna edit that part out and make it a standalone video because that's how amazing it was. I enjoyed it. So if you guys missed the dolphin stream, just rewind it 15 minutes, no big deal. And with that, everybody, thank you so much. Lockjaw, appreciate it. Lady O, much appreciated. Yeah, if you just rewind like 15 minutes, Lady O, you're gonna see them all jump out of the water. It looks fantastic. Sabrina Fair, NMB 045, D Jasmine, thank you for joining. Hopefully you have a good one out and about. Thank you so much for joining as well. Mark Davis, it's good to see you. Brad's Brain, welcome. Thank you for joining. And to the Mighty Bull, have a good night wherever you are, because there is always a bull market somewhere. And you just need to know where to look. And I'll see everybody right back here in the Magic City tomorrow. Take care, everybody, and I'll see you all tomorrow.